Hey guys, it's Scotty Schwartz, and tonight we've got liftoff for Crew 10.
Ignition and go after Crew 10.
So will two NASA astronauts finally be brought back to Earth after working like 9 months of overtime on the International Space Station? It's sure looking like it, and what a ride home it'll be. Then check out this wild scene on an interstate in Texas. Winds nearing 100 miles an hour, flipping over tractor trailers. We've also got some new video showing the moment immigration agents arrested a pro-Palestinian student activist as the State Department works to revoke his green card over protests at Columbia University. And the president makes a visit to the Department of Justice.
I will not use a bad word. I promised my wife I would never use a bad word, so just a little bad. The case against me was...
So those are just some of the stories we were watching tonight. There's so much more to unpack, so let's get going because this is Stay Tuned Now. Oh, right before we came on the air tonight, 4 humans riding on top of 1.7 million pounds of thrust blasting off from the Kennedy Space Center, SpaceX's Crew 10, and the destination, the International Space Station.
3, 2, 1. Ignition and go SpaceX, go after Crew 10. Copy 1 Alpha. Vehicle pitching downrange. Main engine cut off.
SpaceX Dragon, 2 Alpha.
Stage separation confirmed.
Copy 2 Alpha.
Great call-outs and incredible views there on your left-hand screen. On your left-hand screen, you can see a view from stage 1. There's that landing burn. Let's watch as Falcon 9 touches down on landing zone 1.
Another picture-perfect Falcon 9 sunset dismount. And with that, all eyes now turn to an astronaut swap out in the long-awaited ride home for Butch Wilmore, for Sonny Williams. Their mission was supposed to last only 10 days, but here we are, 280 days later, 282 days later and counting. And remember, their original ride back to Earth was brought back without them. Boeing Starliner had been grounded ever since those helium leaks and thruster problems brought that ship back down to Earth without anybody on board. Watch this.
Separation confirmed. Starliner is now backing away from station and starting its return to Earth.
Well, then enter SpaceX and its Crew Dragon spacecraft. What was the first private spacecraft to take humans to space is now making another milestone in almost this daily cadence of launches from coast to coast. We're going to get into all of this as Crew 10 makes its way towards the International Space Station. But right now, Marissa Parra is going to lead us off from the Kennedy Space Station. I'm so jealous, Marissa. No hydraulic issues this time around. Like everything go off without a hitch?
Gotti, it was a beautiful launch in every sense of the word. Of course, picturesque. We saw that beautiful sunset painting the sky as we saw, of course, that crew make its way to the International Space Station. But, of course, it was a clean launch. Everything went off as planned. We call that everything was looking nominal in those crucial moments leading up to liftoff. And, of course, so different from just a couple of days ago where, yes, the weather was beautiful and perfect. But then, of course, T-minus 43 minutes until liftoff on Wednesday is when we saw the clock pause and then stop because we had that issue with the hydraulic system. And so they needed more time to look at that. Apparently, it was a pocket of air to blame. They needed to flush out, essentially. And so they cycled the valves. And then today they felt very confident, communicated that confidence to all of us that things were looking good. The weather, 95% favorable. You saw that beautiful sunset. I can't stress it enough. It really felt like we were in a movie set. And then, of course, those moments, you know, there was the applause. We heard from Mission Control. I mean, we even heard it on the ground here. People were clapping. Everyone's so excited, especially we think about the greater context of this mission in particular. And so a lot of really powerful words between Mission Control and then, of course, those NASA astronauts. Here's what we heard from our mission commander of this Crew 10 crew here, Anne McLean. Here's what she said.
Spaceflight is tough, but humans are tougher. Days like today are made possible only when people choose to do the harder right over the easier wrong. Build relationships, choose cooperation, and believe in the inherent goodness of all people across the world. To my family and friends, without you, I would not be here. Explore boldly, live gracefully. Go Crew 10.
Gotti, I heard someone joke around here. One of the NASA employees said, well, you know, rockets are always divas around here. So they had to, you know, really amp up the drama. And there's been no shortage of drama and excitement every step of this way, this journey. Now, those original Starliner astronauts, now Crew 9, essentially we're just days away from them returning to Earth now with Crew 10 having liftoff successfully tonight.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, hearing the word nominal in your ear, and it sounds so beautiful, and then you hear the commander's words. Like, I teared up when I heard that. The inherent goodness,
yeah.
Space is tough, but humans are tougher. I mean, like, what an absolute inspiration. So looking at the timeline here, when will Crew 10, like, make it to the space station, and what is the handoff going to look like with Crew 9, and Butch and Sunny finally climbing aboard to come on back home on their ship?
Yes. So many eyes waiting for that moment, Gotti. So I can tell you what we know according to the schedule as it is right now. I mean, we had liftoff. That's the thing we were waiting for. So we know that this launch went off tonight. So we are expecting docking sometime tomorrow night. As of now, kind of slated for 11:30 Eastern at night, 11:30 p.m. tomorrow night, Saturday night. But what happens after is just a matter of when that docking happens exactly. We know that hatch opening would happen in the hours after. So sometime Sunday morning, we're going to see Crew 10 floating on into the International Space Station. There will be a whole ceremony, fanfare, and then, of course, behind the scenes, the passing of the baton. Gotti, Crew 9 with Butch and Sunny will be showing Crew 10 the ropes before they are able to undock. We're expecting at earliest Wednesday for them to start making their return back to Earth. Of course, that depends on the weather. More uncertainty in terms of when exactly that's going to be at earliest Wednesday. And as we've talked about, a lot of excited people eager to welcome them back to Earth and gravity. It's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Gravity is going to do a number to Sunny's hair when she finally comes back down to the planet. Marissa Parra, thank you so much. Been so nice to hang out with you over the last few days. And former astronaut Danny Olivas is back with us tonight alongside astrophysicist Paul Sutter. Thank you so much for being with us, both of you. Danny, what are you going to be looking for as Crew 10 docks on the ISS and Crew 9 prepares to come home?
So one of the first things that's going to happen is obviously a little bit of a celebration. Everybody gives hugs and welcomes, the new crew members on board. But, really, as soon as you get on board, you have to jump right into procedures. You have to start learning the emergency procedures, get the Crew 10 that comes on board needs to be briefed on what's going on, what kind of operations are going on, understand and go through all the emergency procedures. And they want to get ready just in case something goes bad. Yeah, immediately after boarding. And then there'll be a period of time during this handover where they get the crew up to speed with the current status of all the various experiments and who's doing what, and essentially getting the crew situated and comfortable